So let's take a look at a potential site for an oyster garden. This is sort of like a report card for this location, which is called Fishing Creek. Again, we're here at Chesapeake Beach, and we're going to test these conditions. This is what a good oyster garden site would have, these numbers. And then what you guys are going to do at some point is talk about, does this site, Fishing Creek, meet these site requirements? So is this a good place for oysters? Here's the things that we need to know about. So number one, we're going to lump these three things together. These are tests that we're going to do on the water. Oysters are water animals, so this is pretty important. So number one, is there enough oxygen dissolved in the water for the oysters to survive? So remember, if we dump a bunch of sediment, a bunch of dirt on top of those oysters, can they breathe under there? They can't. There's a lot of things that can happen with oxygen in the water, and just like we need to breathe, oysters do also. So for dissolved oxygen, we would be looking for a measurement of greater than or equal to 4 parts per million, or ppm for short. Also at our water quality station, we're going to be looking at temperature. I'm hoping that you guys get outside sometime this fall. Starting to get cooler, it's going to be cold later on, it's hot in the summertime. So the water temperature is going to change throughout the year also. So oysters have a pretty good range that they can survive in. So we want to have a oyster garden site with a water temperature somewhere between 6 and 23 degrees Celsius. So just like for us, if you're outside, you're back up with the polar bears, and you don't have a coat, right? You're going to be freezing cold. On the other hand, if you're down, I don't know, someplace exotic on the tropics where it's warm, it's really hot, maybe it's a desert, you're going to have problems there too. So again, temperature 6 to 23 degrees Celsius. Salinity. Salinity, if you remember way back when to 3rd grade, you all tested this with your terrapins unit. And salinity is the amount of salt in the water. So oysters aren't super picky about the amount of salt in the water, but a good oyster garden site would have, again, greater than or equal to 5 parts per thousand, or ppt. So anything bigger than that. All right, these two things here, these two weird words, turbidity and depth. That's going to be 2 things that we test at our sedimentation station. And let's see, turbidity just means how clear or cloudy the water is. And this is not because we're worried about whether the oysters can see or not. What we are worried about is whether the oysters can breathe. If we can't see down very deep in the water, it means there's a lot of stuff in the water. Maybe it's sediment. Maybe it's pollution. So if the water is very turbid, it's cloudy, there's a lot of stuff in the water, when the oysters go to breathe and do their filter feeding, they're not going to be able to do it. It's going to be like you maybe having a really, really thick milkshake and trying to drink that really, really thick milkshake with a straw. Probably not going to work very well. So turbidity, we would want to see down in the water greater than or equal to 100 centimeters if this is a good oyster garden site. And again, it's not because we want to know if the oysters can see or not. It has to do with how much sediment is in the water. We also want to know how deep the water is. Again, oysters are water animals, so we want them to be in the water most of the time. That's where they're safest. That's where they can eat and breathe. So we are looking for a depth measurement of greater than or equal to 1 meter. All right, this one, number of different animals. So this is going to be at our reef animals station. That station, you're also going to be talking about animals adaptations. This is a really cool one because we get to see lots of different animals if we're lucky. So the way this works is if a habitat is healthy, I'm just going to wait till this truck goes by. Okay, so if a habitat is healthy, if So diversity is the number of different kinds of animals. Usually, not always, but usually a healthy habitat has a lot of different kinds of animals. If we find greater than or equal to 4 different kinds of animals in these little oyster gardens that we have set up, these, we'll just have to see what we can find today. These have been here for a while. Nobody has checked them lately, so they've been out there. Nobody's been bothering them. So I'm excited to see what we're going to find. So a number of different kinds of animals, greater than or equal to 4 for a good oyster garden site. All right, last but not least, we have some spat. And spat are baby oysters. And we would want to watch those spat and see what happens. So one thing that we could do would be to take some spat, just a small sample, maybe 100 babies or something like that. And we would keep track of them over time. So our babies usually come in and they are pretty small, maybe 2 centimeters or close to that on average. And then we would watch them and measure them over time. And we're going to show you how to measure them today and see what size they are today. We're not sure. And then, of course, those spat, if our small group is not staying alive, so this is spat mortality. We know that we had 125 when we started. If the small group, that sample of oyster spat, that small oyster garden has been out there for a week or a month or whatever it is, and now we have twice this number dead, would we want to put more oyster gardens in that site? Probably not, right? It doesn't tell us what's wrong, but it does tell us that something is going on because the babies are dying, so we would not want to put more in. On the other hand, if we check and we still have that same number dead that we started with, no more have died, then that would be a good sign. So what we're going to do is go through these tests. We know that like a perfect oyster garden site would have these numbers. We're going to see what we can find today, and then you guys are going to compare what these numbers are that we're finding now with a perfect oyster garden site and say yes, it would be a good site for an oyster garden, or no, it would not.